What if I told you that something you lovingly hand to your child every single day is quietly stealing the 3 most critical parts of their developing brain? Would you believe me? Imagine this incredibly familiar scene. You are in a loud, crowded restaurant, or maybe you are just trying to cook dinner after a long, exhausting day at work. Suddenly, your toddler has a massive emotional meltdown, screaming, kicking, tears streaming down their face. You feel the judgmental stares from people around you, or maybe you just feel utterly overwhelmed and on the verge of breaking down yourself. So, you do what almost every modern parent does. You pull out a glowing smartphone or a tablet and hand it over. Instantly, magic happens. The crying stops dead in its tracks. Their eyes are glued to the bouncing, highly saturated, colorful animations on the screen. Their body freezes. You breathe a huge sigh of relief, thinking you've just used the ultimate parenting hack to buy yourself 10 minutes of peace and quiet. But what if I told you today that this seemingly miraculous digital pacifier isn't actually soothing your child at all? It is, in fact, an invisible scalpel, physically rewiring your child's prefrontal cortex piece by piece. This is absolutely not some sensational fear-mongering. It is a silent chemical hijack happening right inside their little heads the moment their eyes lock onto that screen. In the next 20 minutes, I am going to expose the brutal, scientifically backed truth behind these glowing screens. If you are constantly struggling with your child's lack of focus, explosive tantrums out of nowhere, or poor sleep that exhausts the entire family, you absolutely must watch this video to the very end. Because the answer to your daily parenting nightmares might be sitting right there, on your living room couch. Are you ready? Let's uncover the truth. The flood of dopamine doesn't just wash away a child's patience for the real world. It acts like an invisible thief, quietly stealing the 3 most critical abilities in their brain's development. This is the true reason why many parents increasingly feel their children are hard to manage or disobedient. Let's see if your child is exhibiting any of these symptoms. The first stolen ability is emotional self-control. Think back to every time you try to turn off the TV or take away the phone. Doesn't your house erupt into World War III? Screaming, rolling on the floor, maybe even throwing things. Many parents think this is just a bad temper or a spoiled child. But in reality, from a brain science perspective, this isn't a tantrum at all. It is a highly agonizing withdrawal symptom. When the high-intensity dopamine supply is suddenly and forcefully cut off, the child's brain instantly falls into panic and severe withdrawal depression. Their underdeveloped prefrontal cortex is completely powerless to suppress this chemical storm, resulting in a total loss of emotional control. The second stolen ability is two-way language communication. You might argue, but my child learned the 26 letters of the alphabet and sings lots of nursery rhymes from the tablet. Yes, screens can rapidly feed information, but it is strictly one way. The essence of human language development is social gaze and emotional interaction. A child who stares at a screen and learns to fluently recite the names of all the dinosaurs might not know how to look you in the eye in real life and clearly articulate, "Mom, I'm hungry," or "I'm sad today." Screens cruelly deprive them of the precious opportunities to practice empathy, read human facial expressions, and engage in genuine eye contact. The third stolen ability, and the one that drives countless parents to the brink of insanity, is deep sleep. The screens of smart devices emit incredibly intense blue light. This blue light directly penetrates the child's retina, tricking the pineal gland in their brain into thinking it is still high noon. The result is that the production of melatonin, the exact hormone needed to help the child fall asleep, is forcefully paused. This is exactly why your child can be frantically rubbing their eyes and yawning, physically exhausted to the bone, yet mentally they remain incredibly hyperactive, tossing and turning in bed for hours. Unable to sleep, ultimately becoming a poor sleeper that exhausts the entire family. Now, you might be thinking, but I only let them watch high-quality educational shows. They are learning colors, numbers, and shapes. This brings us to the biggest trap of the digital age, the disguise of educational content. Let me be completely blunt. True learning requires active exploration, but screens force the brain into a state of passive reception. Think about what happens when a child listens to a story from a picture book. Their brain has to work incredibly hard. They have to actively construct the scenes, the characters' faces, and the colors in their own imagination. This mental heavy lifting builds robust neural pathways. But when they watch a so-called educational animation, the screen hands them everything prepackaged. The brain becomes lazy. It stops visualizing, stops imagining, and simply consumes. It is the equivalent of feeding their brain junk food and calling it a nutritional meal. Furthermore, we need to talk about fast food cognition. Even if a cartoon claims to teach science, math, or vocabulary, pay close attention to its editing. If it relies on flashy cuts every few seconds, loud background noises, and constant frantic movement to keep the child hooked, it is still doing catastrophic damage to their attention span. It is still hijacking that dopamine system we talked about earlier. True early education isn't about swiping a cold piece of glass to see a flat, virtual apple. It's about grabbing a real apple, feeling its physical weight, smelling its skin, and hearing the crunch when they bite into it. It's about feeling the gritty texture of mud, chasing a real bug in the grass, and balancing physical blocks. Virtual screens, no matter how educational they claim to be, can never replicate the rich, three-dimensional, multi-sensory data that a developing brain desperately craves from the real physical world. Now that we know the ugly truth, how do we fix it? How do we take the screen away without starting World War III in the living room? Take a deep breath. A child's brain possesses astonishing neuroplasticity. As long as we intervene right now, it is not too late. Welcome to Part 4, the 2-1-Day Screen Detox Plan. Step 1, the painless withdrawal method. Never, ever snatch the device right out of your child's hands during the absolute climax of a video. That is like dragging someone off a high-speed train. It will inevitably cause a catastrophic emotional meltdown. You need to give their brain a buffer period to land smoothly from a high dopamine state. I highly recommend introducing a visual countdown timer or a giant physical hourglass. Place it next to them 5 minutes before time is up and tell them, when the sand runs out, the tablet has to go to sleep. This tangible physical boundary sends a warning signal to their brain, drastically reducing the extreme panic of sudden withdrawal. Step 2, create high-intensity real-world alternatives. You have to understand that you cannot simply take away the tablet and expect your child to immediately sit quietly and do a puzzle. You must fill that massive dopamine void with equally stimulating real-world play. In the first few days of the detox, take them outside. Let them play with water, get messy with mud, roll wildly in a sandbox, or engage in high-intensity physical roughhousing. Use the most raw, primal sensory experiences to reactivate their perception of the real world. Step 3. Embrace the magic of boredom. The biggest misconception many parents have is thinking they must act as their child's full-time entertainment clown every single second. Listen to me. When a child loses their screen and comes complaining, "Mom, I'm so bored," please suppress the urge to entertain them with everything you have. In brain science, boredom is the exact golden signal that the brain's creativity and internal drive are beginning to reboot. Give them a little time. Step back, endure those few minutes of complaining and doing nothing, and you will be amazed to see that they will eventually pick up a forgotten cardboard box in the corner and create a world entirely of their own. Watching up to this point, you might be feeling incredibly anxious or even deeply guilty. Take a deep breath. This is absolutely not your fault. In an era saturated with screens, we are all struggling to find a balance. The good news is that a child's brain has tremendous neuroplasticity. As long as we take action right now, it is not too late. We cannot completely isolate our children from the digital world of the future. That is highly unrealistic. But we have an absolute responsibility to protect their developing brain foundation from being washed away by the flood of fast-paced information before it fully sets and solidifies. Before we end this video, I want to hear your real voices in the comments. How much screen time does your child average per day? And what is the most headache-inducing withdrawal symptom you've faced when trying to turn off that screen? Please, share your stories in the comments section below. Your experience might just save another family on the verge of a breakdown. If you found value in today's video, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. Let's arm ourselves with science and raise future high achievers with unstoppable internal drive. Thank you so much for your time and for watching, and I will see you in the next video.